There are just some people that I can't see eye to eye with, and I'm okay keeping it that way, since they don't have the intellectual horsepower to understand how the tariffs will hurt everyone. I prefer to keep our interactions brief to non-existent. Frankly, those are the folks who beg for attention. They're begging us to react to something, anything. They feed off of us and our reactions. They need us to respond to them. They want us to take time out of our day to fact check their lives. They don't spend a moment not thinking about us, but we have to stop thinking about them. We need to stop trying to convince them that they're on the wrong side of history, because our voices, they're falling on deaf ears. Nothing we can say can change their minds, so let's stop talking to them wherever we can. With that energy vampire gone, we can free up more time to build coalition and work with the folks around us. We really need that right now because things are about to get rough. What makes me so confident in saying all of this? Well, there was a young lady I worked with that I truly had to learn to ignore. We had different roles within the same department. We were at similar levels in hierarchy, but my role was more visible. The way I work is I know what I have to do and I get stuff done. Once my work is done, I see if there's anything I can get ahead on. And if there isn't, I make sure to connect with the people I work with. I wasn't trying to make friends outside of work, but I definitely want to work in a friendly environment. The way she worked was she was a social butterfly who often had to grind at the end of her shift because she was being social the entire day. At the core of everything, we were opposites. How we worked, how we presented ourselves, hygiene, just different. I paid her no mind. She wasn't my people and I wasn't hers, and that was okay. We were professionals. We are professionals. So I thought. It turned out that she didn't like me. She didn't like me because of my boss. I actually had two bosses. Both of them were men. It's important. It was the best work experience that I'd ever had. It was such a lovely experience that I gave a 3 months notice before I left. And during those 3 months, I worked every single day. Not so lovely was the fact that I left for Tesla. Anyway, the reason I had two bosses is because I led two teams, concierge and VIP services, which fell under two different directors. My boss for the concierge side trusted me and allowed me the autonomy to run my team as needed, but my boss for VIP services, that's where the issue came in. It had nothing to do with his work ethic. You see, my boss was handsome. He was so handsome that the ladies from all over the resort would find a way to need to go to his office. He was so handsome that other men would mention how handsome he was. I eventually realized that that was why my female colleague didn't care for me. He and I worked hand in hand. Because our roles revolved around VIPs, we often took the same days off. We were actually really tight. His wife would help with my daughter when I was in a crunch or needed a date with my husband, and that was the problem. I was the only woman in the resort to get close to this man that many of the women were trying to get close to. Whenever my colleague would seek his attention, he was polite, but I would be the one he would go to lunch with. When she needed support, he would kindly give it, but I'd be the one he'd work with for hours preparing a VIP visit. I tried to connect with her, invite her to join us for lunch, cross-train her to show her what we do to prepare for different levels of VIP, invite her to some of the perks of working in a role like mine. It didn't matter. She ain't like me. After a while, I realized something. Really, it wasn't me that she didn't like. It was her perception that I took something that belonged to her. And nothing I could say would change her mind. Nothing I could do would change the situation. So I started to ignore her. Unless we had actual work that needed to get done or just common courtesy, there was no need for us to speak. I had no business in her area of the office, so I stayed away. When I stopped trying, I freed up so much more time to be creative. I had time to enjoy the perks of my role more. That year, I was even given 3 raises and won an international award. Leaving that coworker to be mad all alone allowed me to blossom, and that's what you need to do as well. It's time to lock in and focus. Giving your energy to these folks who twist like a pretzel so that they can be a good cult member is madness. It's time to ignore these folks and focus on your backup plans. What are you going to do if you lose your job? Who can you count on to move in with if you can't pay your rent or your mortgage? Who are you in coalition with to get through the coming months? It's been 10 years. There's nothing you can say to change these folks' minds. So rip these leeches off. You don't need parasites sucking at your energy. You need that energy more. Now that the mob boss has put the tariffs in place, I have to say, he really is playing chess. The billionaires are scheduling their Mar-a-Lago trips right now so they can kiss the ring and beg for special exemptions. This guy is like that coworker who throws everyone under the bus so he can get his numbers. But instead of coworker, he's the president. And instead of office workers, it's the whole country. It's time for everyone to lock down, no matter where you live. Even outside the US, things are about to get expensive for everyone. It's a long sigh for us Gen Xers who just lost our 401ks in the blink of an eye. Looks like a lot of us have to work much longer than we had planned, especially since we can't really count on Social Security being available. It's truly time for all of us to go over our expenses and cut out the fat. And right now is not the time to buy expensive things. Right now is time to get our houses in order, your backup plans. Remember, all of this is because the government doesn't want to tax the rich. The rich are like, we pay too much in taxes. The current tax system favors wealth over work. While we are focused on tariffs, they're going to try and make it more permanent. And they're going to buy up your house, and then you'll have to rent from them. The US primarily taxes income, salaries, and wages rather than wealth assets like stock and real estate and inheritances. The wealthy derive most of their gains from investments, which are taxed at lower rates. 0 to 20% for long-term investments versus up to 37% for ordinary income. The rich, they also use tax havens to shield their income. Inherited assets are taxed at their current market value when they're inherited. It erases all of the capital gains taxes on how it grew in value over time. These people pay a lower tax rate than us. Their marginal tax rate is higher, yeah. That's because the number is based on money earned, work. The effective tax rate is the average percentage of a person's total income that they pay in taxes. This rate accounts for deductions, credits, exemptions, and other factors. They pay as little as 3 to 8% of their true income, all because we tax work, not wealth. A wealth tax could fund healthcare. It could fund education or even fix the roads. So don't waste your energy convincing people who won't be convinced. Use that energy to look after yourself. Use it to look after your community. Use it next time when you decide that you just have to buy that thing that you really don't truly need, or when you have to go to that store that you really don't have to shop at. In addition to that, use your energy towards building community with like-minded people. It'll get us far closer towards fixing our country. I don't think you watched this video yet, so watch it now. Or you can watch this message from Bernie. I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.